Well, a cryptic maneuver that was just leaked by a whistleblower at the FBI may indicate that something big and bad is about to happen in the United States. But before I get into the report, just a quick break. Well, Bank of America has just lowered their 2022 forecast for the S&P, 500 to a whopping 900 points to 3,600. Saying we're headed for a recession this year, it said the new year-end target is the lowest on the street. This is not good news for those of you with equities or anything tied to the stock market. I know thousands of people have put their trust in Noble Gold at noblegoldinvestments.com. They went there to prevent losing money in the financial storm that is now brewing. You can join them now by calling their no-hassle expert team. In fact, Noble Gold was voted the #1 gold company by Consumer Affairs. No call centers, no scripted response, and no bull. Just a straight, honest run-through option so that you can personally decide. And by the way, as an added bonus, they are giving away this 1/10 ounce gold American Eagle proof coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover this month. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. So check them out at noblegoldinvestments.com. Also, they have a YouTube channel I want to encourage you to check out, and it's under Noble Gold Investments. And on that site, it is packed with hundreds of informative videos about what's going on with the economy, finances, your money, savings, the whole 9 yards. So subscribe to them there and check out their YouTube channel. Want more information? Then talk to one of their no-hassle experts by calling 1-877-646-5347. Let them know that Lisa Haven sent you, or go to their website at noblegoldinvestments.com. Want more information? It's found in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. So just what is this cryptic FBI maneuver that just got leaked by a whistleblower? And how does it indicate that something big and bad may be in our future? Well, for starters, let's first focus on the corruptness of the FBI. Just this past year, 3 major things came out about corruption in the FBI, specifically from FBI whistleblowers. The first one being the fact that they labeled Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation. Now, why would they do that? Obviously, because that forces people within the FBI to set aside the laptop as well, disinformation, and something that they're not even going to look into. Second, and this is very concerning, is that they purged conservative-minded people from the FBI. Whistleblowers have come out telling our congressional leaders that they are putting harsher punishments and attempting to remove conservatives from the FBI. Not only that, but it also came out recently via Jim Jordan, who got inside information from FBI whistleblowers, revealing that they had to pad the domestic terrorist data. Now, the question that has to be asked is, why would they do such things? Well, for starters, the Biden administration has been going all in against anyone who opposes his viewpoint, which would specifically be conservatives, Trump supporters, and Republicans. And now it seems as if he has weaponized the FBI against that viewpoint, to the point where they are purging certain political people and attempting to blow up their domestic terrorist list to levels we have not seen, because the Biden administration has been warning, after all, that ever since he got into office, that somehow white supremacy and anti-government kind of mentality is the biggest threat to the United States of America. And when the numbers don't exactly add up, therefore you must pad them. In fact, another whistleblower has just come out revealing bombshell information to Project Veritas. Now, I believe that this piece of information that was just leaked kind of puts those puzzle pieces together and hints at the idea that something major and bad is in store, specifically for Joe Biden's administration and Democrats' political opponents, conservatives, Christians, and patriots. I'm going to put it all together in just a moment, but let's go to the cryptic FBI maneuver. Take a look at projectveritas.com. FBI whistleblower leaks that the Bureau's Domestic Terrorism Symbols Guide on Militia Violent Extremists, citing Ashley Babbitt as an MVE martyr. It goes on. This leaked document is labeled as unclassified, law enforcement sensitive. That is for FBI internal use only. Now, what that means is they have an internal document that only the FBI was allowed to see. Now, again, why would they want to hide such information from the public if there really is a true danger from such military, or not military, but militia personnel? Good question. Well, the article goes on in detail about what actually is in that particular document. Back to that Project Veritas site. Here it says, Project Veritas released a newly leaked document today provided by an FBI whistleblower, which shows how the Bureau classifies American citizens it deemed to be potential militia violent extremism, aka MVEs. In the document, the FBI cites symbols, images, phrases, events, and individuals that agents should look out for when identifying alleged domestic terrorist. Now, here's the actual document I want to show you right here. And you can see at the very top, FBI internal use only. So only for the eyes of the FBI. And some highlights that I want to point out there as what they're calling militia violent extremists. Here they have the Second Amendment, where you see the 2A closest to my face here with a gun underneath. It says, militias justify their existence with the Second Amendment due to the mention of a well-trained militia, as well as the right to bear arms. Interesting that they've got that on there, because the Second Amendment is supposed to be, well, constitutionally protected, as well as a well-trained militia. That's in our Constitution. Not only that, but they've got some troubling other details on there. And I want you to know, they have the Gapson flag right there, the yellow flag with the snake on it. They have the Liberty Tree, which is supposed to stand for liberty and freedom. And of course, the Betsy Ross flag. Are they for real? Yeah, these are the things that can classify you an MVE. Not only that, but the second page that was leaked right here, and you can see this one, they've got some statements to the left on that have common phrases and reference. And then over to the farthest away from my face there, you can see, or the far right of your screen there, you can see people that MVE consider to be martyrs. And you can see Lavoy Finicum, and you can also see Ashley Babbitt. Really? So that is who they deem as a violent, radical extremist? Why is it that it's just stuff that specifically references, I don't know, patriotism, love for America, love for our country? Doesn't that seem odd? And doesn't it add a little bit of logs to the fire, so to speak, when they say this is only for the eyes of the FBI? Now add that to the other things they have done, purging conservatives from their ranks, and also patting the domestic terrorists to make white supremacy and anti-government extremism look like the worst ever. Somebody has to start asking the question, why is this going on? Well, if you look at what has happened in the past here in America, and more specifically under the Biden administration, it seems as if he is always targeting his political opposition. Now, I want to take you to a report that was published a while ago in 2021, right? And right when Biden got into office, he immediately started labeling his political opposition. Again, this is January 2021. Take a look here. As a quick reminder, nationalreview.com, Tulsi Gabbard, domestic terrorism bill is a targeting of almost half of the country. Now, she is referencing here H.R. 350. 350 or HR 350. This was put into place by our Democrats, Biden administration, and the whole 9 yards. What does it say in this particular bill? Well, if you scroll down, and I'm just giving you a small taste, it says an assessment of the domestic terrorism threat posed by white supremacists and neo-Nazis, including white supremacy and neo-Nazi infiltration into the Fed, state, local law enforcement agencies and the uniformed services. And in the first report, an analysis of incidents or attempted incidents of domestic terrorism have occurred in the U.S. since 1995, including, again, white supremacy. It goes on to say, basically, we have white supremacy infiltrated in every department. But the problem is their definition of white supremacy is basically a conservative, a Trump supporter. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we are dealing with on a daily basis. In fact, let me take you to my Twitter feed because I thought this is very imperative to what we're talking about today. But let me go to a tweet that I put out. By the way, if you're not there, check me out there. And here it is. Liberals are like the kid actor on the movie The Sixth Sense who said, "I see dead people." Well, liberals and many Democrats, unfortunately, see white supremacists and domestic extremism everywhere. So, I can't help but ask the question, is something big and bad about to go down? Is the Biden administration purposefully targeting conservatives and patriots? In fact, many media in the past and big media organizations under Joe Biden have talked about de-radicalizing Christian extremism. No joke. Take a look. Just as a reminder, foreignpolicy.com. The U.S. needs de-radicalization for Christians, Christian extremists. Brainwashing programs designed to reform violent jihadists could help tackle the spread of QAnon and other conspiracy theories in the evangelical communities. Yes, printed under Biden. That article goes back, I believe, to March 2021. Interesting, to say the least. Interesting. Lots of things are happening that I think we don't need to ignore. Over the years, we've seen the Democrats and the leftists, everyone from Nancy Pelosi labeling Trump and his followers, Trump and his cabinet members, extremists and domestic terrorists. And we've been called to be put on list by the AOCs, by AOC specifically. We have had conservatives kicked out of their insurance, kicked out of banks, kicked out of social media platforms, and the whole 9 yards. Where is the so-called real equality, right? Well, they just made it more of a different kind of term, packaged it a little different, and sold it to you in the form of communism, right? But real equality is not what we're seeing today, especially if you're a conservative or Republican. There is one rule of law for them, the Democrats and liberals, and one rule of law for you, the conservatives, the patriots, the Republicans, the Trump supporters. And yet, we have the FBI now weaponized. What does he intend to do with his federal force? Is he going to continue to go after? He created an entire new domestic terrorist department. He is having, according to the whistleblowers, the FBI pad the domestic terrorist numbers. Why do that? And now, a secret memo within the FBI, only for their eyes, shows that if you so much as hold the Betsy Ross flag, you're terrorists. Wow. I can only imagine that our founding fathers are turning over in their graves. One last little piece of the puzzle that I expanded on Restricted Republic, by the way, if you want more information on that. But just to kind of add to it, this just happened. FoxNews.com, Capitol Police raises questions with a job listing to hire their own federal prosecutors. Who signed off on that? What does that mean? That means that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, who I suspect had their hand in that, of course, decided that, hey, we can't really prosecute. So let's get our Capitol Police to hire a prosecutor for us. Therefore, we can arrest, prosecute, and do whatever the hell we want. No, you can't, because that's completely and utterly illegal and against our constitutional rights. Want more information on that? Get to Restricted Republic. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.